Hi, everyone. It's Candace Craw-Goldman from quantumhealers.com with the question of the week. This week's question comes from our support forum, and I've got some notes, and I'm just going to read exactly how the question was asked. It was from a new member trained in QHHT, currently taking the BQH class. She says, I've always wondered if there's a way to access this quantum healing or the SC without going through a past life regression. And our community came around and answered her very quickly. And I want to read some of the answers or some portions of some of the answers that she received. So one was from a long-term member, Harry Kroner, who is a teacher in his own right. And that's right, we accept all teachers of various forms of quantum healing and other alternative and energy healing in our community. And Harry writes, the main point is to bring your client into the highest vibrational state in a very safe environment, protected by light, and having guides of the highest vibration come and assist in the process. And he says, no, it's not necessary. And I'll just cut to the chase and tell you that all of the experienced quantum healers answered that question in the same way. Absolutely. It's not at all required, right? As a matter of fact, I started out my answer by saying one of the reasons I felt compelled to create Beyond Quantum Healing a number of years after Dolores passed was because of this issue. Many, if not a majority of clients these days do not find it necessary to experience a past life or the death in a past life to access their higher consciousness or their SC, to gain clarity, wisdom about any issue, healing, all of those things, the expansion of consciousness. It's just not necessary. Does it happen? Sure, but it's not at all necessary. Now, Dolores Cannon taught, and unless something's changed, her class is still taught this way, which is you explore one uncomplicated past life, usually in about 3 scenes. And then when that's over, you talk to the person's SC or their higher self or their subconscious, as Dolores called it all those years ago. A lot of people go straight to that last part, and this is not unusual. And Dolores herself, in a number of her books, talks about this. Some people, right in the beginning of the session, go straight to that part with no need to experience a past life. But she still taught her class that way. And here's one of the reasons I think that she did that, because when she was practicing her method over all those decades, that's how it started for her. Past lives, and then she sort of graduated and had other kinds of experiences. But we know now, and we've known for a very long time, actually, that even brand new quantum healers don't need to start the way Dolores started, because humans have evolved. They really have, even in the last little bit. We know more, we accept more, and this exploration of other ways of living, being, where our consciousness has played around, in the whole realm of possibilities and all of the dimensions and timelines and all of that. We've just gotten more comfortable with that. Some of the other answers were from longtime member Heather Holm. And she said sometimes there's no good reason for a person to see a past life according to the higher self. And that's true. There's no reason to play a storyline if it doesn't apply. There's no reason to spend time going through all of that if it doesn't apply to the current life's issues or concepts or questions. And she actually says exploring a past life also usefully, and this is a big and important point actually, deepens their trance, dissociating them from their current life, and just for a little while. And that's helpful when connecting to the higher self. And that's how Dolores taught it too. Going through the past life sort of is this whole long, usually 45-minute deepener to be able to access the SC or the higher self. A lot of people don't need that. Matter of fact, most people don't these days, but it is still something that happens for very many people having the sessions, of course. Allison Brown says you can direct the script so that you simply call in the wisdom team first. And that's true. You can do that with BQH anyway. And Daisy May says, yes, the majority of my sessions go straight to the higher self without a past life regression. I have to say the same thing happens with me. Pretty much you're right there right away for most clients, not all, but for most these days anyway. Irene Blechter says, but connection to the higher self can happen at any other time and place during hypnosis. And that's true. It can just all of a sudden morph from one thing into the next. And a practitioner has to be on their toes and sort of listen for language and clues that has happened. There were a few other wonderful answers by our community. I'm not going to read them all or even parts of them all, but I really thank those members who've been around such a long time who jump up and answer our newer members. And the new member comes back and says she felt more secure talking to her more conservative family and friends about this consciousness exploration without having the specific reference to past lives and particularly the death experience. And maybe there's something to mention about that too. Dolores used to say it was very important to take that person to the death experience in a past life. And that's a recipe and a procedure that made sense and still absolutely can make sense if something about that past life and the way that person left that previous existence, if it applies, if it affects the current life. Very often it just doesn't. It's just not applicable, right? Or you don't have to go through any of that trauma or that scene. But a lot of people who don't know about regression hypnosis and who hear about past life regressions and who hear about like experiencing a death scene, that whole thing just turns them off, kind of completely to the whole concept. But with BQH and some of the newer approaches, you don't have to talk about that at all, come up at all. It's just consciousness exploration. If you are a healer or alternative energy healing practitioner of any kind, you're welcome to join us at quantumhealers.com. And if you are looking for a quantum healer or an energy healer of any kind, you can find them in our easy to search worldwide public directory. Thanks so much, and see you next week with next week's question. Right on in.